If you have been dealing with gastritis, you know that burning sensation in your stomach that makes every meal feel like a gamble. You know the constant worry about what you can and cannot eat without triggering another painful flare-up. You know how it feels to watch others enjoy their favorite foods, while you sit there wondering if that one bite will leave you doubled over in pain for hours afterwards. And if you have been searching for answers, trying different diets and treatments, only to find that some foods you thought were healthy might actually be making your gastritis worse, then this video is exactly what you need to see today, because what I am about to share with you could be the missing piece in your healing journey, the foods that have been sabotaging your recovery without you even knowing it. Welcome to our channel, where we focus on real health solutions for people dealing with digestive issues. If this is your first time here, please take a moment to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we are building a community of people who understand what it is like to live with gastritis, and we want to make sure you never miss our latest tips and insights that could change your life. Now, I want you to do something for me right now. Drop a comment below and let me know where you are watching from, and tell me what your biggest challenge has been with managing your gastritis symptoms. I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear, to know they are not alone in this journey. Today, we are going to talk about 8 specific foods that you absolutely must avoid if you have gastritis. And I know this might be difficult to hear because some of these foods are probably things you eat regularly, or foods you have been told are healthy. But here is the truth. When you have gastritis, your stomach lining is inflamed and vulnerable, and certain foods, no matter how nutritious they might be for healthy people, can actually cause more harm than good for someone in your situation. The first food you need to eliminate immediately is citrus fruits, and this includes oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes, and even tomatoes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Citrus fruits are packed with vitamin C and antioxidants. They should be good for me, right? And normally you would be correct. But when you have gastritis, the high acid content in these fruits can be absolutely devastating to your already irritated stomach lining. Citrus fruits contain citric acid, which significantly increases the acidity level in your stomach. And when your stomach lining is already inflamed from gastritis, this additional acid acts like pouring salt on an open wound. The citric acid directly irritates the mucous membrane that protects your stomach wall and can actually prevent the healing process from taking place. What happens is that your stomach tries to produce more mucus to protect itself, but the constant acid assault from citrus fruits overwhelms this protective mechanism, leading to increased inflammation, pain, and potentially even ulceration. Many people with gastritis report that within 30 minutes of eating an orange or drinking orange juice, they experience intense burning pain that can last for several hours. This is because the citric acid is literally causing chemical burns to your sensitive stomach tissue. And the worst part is that this damage is cumulative, meaning that every time you consume citrus fruits, you are setting back your healing process. Even if you take them with food or dilute them with water, the acid content is still too high for your compromised digestive system to handle safely. The second food that you must avoid at all costs is spicy foods, and this includes not just obvious things like hot peppers and hot sauce, but also seemingly mild spices like black pepper, paprika, and even garlic powder when used in large quantities. The reason spicy foods are so problematic for gastritis sufferers is that they contain compounds called capsaicinoids, which are the chemicals that give peppers their heat. These compounds directly stimulate the nerve endings in your stomach lining, causing immediate pain and inflammation. But the damage does not stop there. Capsaicinoids also increase the production of stomach acid, which is the last thing you need when dealing with gastritis. Your stomach is already struggling to maintain the proper balance between acid production and protective mucus, and spicy foods throw this delicate balance completely out of whack. What makes this even more challenging is that capsaicinoids can remain in your digestive system for hours, continuing to cause irritation long after you have finished eating. eating. Many people with gastritis find that they experience pain not just immediately after eating spicy food, but also several hours later, and sometimes even into the next day. This prolonged irritation prevents your stomach lining from having the chance to rest and heal, which is essential for recovery from gastritis. Even mild spices that you might not think of as spicy can be problematic. Black pepper, for example, contains piperine, which can increase stomach acid production and cause irritation. Garlic powder and onion powder, while flavorful, can also trigger acid production and worsen inflammation. The key thing to understand is that when you have gastritis, your pain threshold is much lower than normal, and what might be a barely noticeable level of spice for someone with a healthy stomach can cause significant discomfort for you. The third food that you absolutely must eliminate from your diet is coffee, and this includes both regular and decaffeinated coffee, as well as other caffeinated beverages like tea, energy drinks, and even chocolate. Now, I understand that for many of you, coffee is not just a beverage, it is a daily ritual that helps you start your morning and get through your day. But when you have gastritis, coffee becomes one of your worst enemies. And here is why: coffee contains several compounds that are particularly harmful to an inflamed stomach lining. First, there is caffeine, which stimulates the production of gastric acid, even when your stomach is empty. This increased acid production can cause severe pain and further damage to your already compromised stomach wall. But even if you switch to decaffeinated coffee, you are not safe, because coffee also contains chlorogenic acids and other organic compounds that can irritate the stomach lining and trigger inflammation. These compounds are present in both regular and decaffeinated coffee, which is why even people who switch to decaf often continue to experience gastritis symptoms. What makes coffee particularly dangerous for gastritis sufferers is that it also relaxes the lower esophageal sphincter, which is the muscle that keeps stomach acid from backing up into your esophagus. This can lead to acid reflux, which compounds the problem by bringing stomach acid into contact with even more sensitive tissue. Many people with gastritis who continue drinking coffee report that their symptoms are worse in the morning, and this is because they are starting their day by flooding their empty stomach with these irritating compounds. The fourth food you need to avoid completely is alcohol, and this includes wine, beer, spirits, and even cooking wine that you might use in food preparation. Alcohol is particularly devastating for people with gastritis because it attacks your stomach lining in multiple ways. First, alcohol is a direct irritant to the mucous membrane that protects your stomach wall. It strips away the protective mucus layer, leaving your stomach tissue exposed and vulnerable to acid damage. But alcohol does not stop there. It also increases stomach acid production, while simultaneously impairing your stomach's ability to produce the protective mucus it needs. This creates a perfect storm, where your stomach is producing more acid than usual, while having less protection against that acid than normal. The result is severe inflammation, pain, and potential ulceration that can take weeks or even months to heal. What makes alcohol particularly insidious is that its effects are both immediate and long-lasting. You might feel the burning pain within minutes of having a drink, but the damage continues for hours afterwards, as alcohol interferes with your stomach's natural healing processes. Even small amounts of alcohol can trigger severe gastritis flares. And the more you drink, the more damage you cause. Many people think that certain types of alcohol are safer than others, but the truth is that whether you are drinking beer, wine, or spirits, the alcohol content is what causes the damage, not the other ingredients. Beer might seem gentler because it has a lower alcohol percentage, but it also contains hops and other compounds that can irritate the stomach lining. Wine contains acids and tannins that add to the irritation, and spirits obviously have the highest alcohol concentration, making them the most immediately damaging. The fifth food that you must eliminate is fried and greasy foods, and this includes everything from French fries and fried chicken to pizza burgers, and even foods that are sautéed in large amounts of oil. The reason these foods are so problematic for gastritis sufferers is that they are extremely difficult to digest and they sit in your stomach for much longer than other foods, causing prolonged irritation and discomfort. When you eat fried foods, your stomach has to work overtime to break down all that fat and oil. This increased workload means your stomach produces more acid for longer periods of time, which keeps your already inflamed stomach lining under constant assault. The high-fat content also slows down gastric emptying, which means food stays in your stomach longer than it should. This prolonged contact time between food and your sensitive stomach wall increases inflammation and pain. But the problems with fried foods go even deeper than just the fat content. When oils are heated to high temperatures during the frying process, they undergo chemical changes that create compounds called aldehydes and other toxic substances. These compounds are not just hard to digest, they are actually inflammatory and can cause direct tissue damage to your stomach lining. Many people with gastritis report that fried foods cause them the most severe and long-lasting symptoms, often experiencing pain for 6 to 8 hours after eating them. This is because these foods create a cascade of digestive problems that keep your stomach in distress long after the meal is over. The sixth food you need to avoid is processed and cured. Meats, including bacon, sausage, hot dogs, pepperoni, salami, and deli meats. These foods are loaded with preservatives, chemicals, and high amounts of sodium that can wreak havoc on your sensitive digestive system. Processed meats contain nitrates and nitrites, which are preservatives that can irritate the stomach lining and increase inflammation. They also contain high levels of sodium, which can disrupt the delicate balance of fluids in your digestive system and make inflammation worse. But perhaps most importantly, processed meats are often very high in fat and contain various spices and additives that can trigger gastritis symptoms. The combination of high-fat content preservatives and inflammatory compounds makes processed meats a triple threat for anyone dealing with gastritis. The seventh food that you absolutely must avoid is carbonated beverages, and this includes soda, diet, soda, sparkling water, energy drinks, and even those trendy seltzers that seem healthy at first glance. Now you might think that carbonated water should be harmless, since it is just water with bubbles. But when you have gastritis, even something as simple as carbonation can cause significant problems. The carbon dioxide gas in these beverages creates pressure in your stomach that can stretch the stomach walls and put additional stress on your already inflamed tissue. This stretching action can cause immediate pain and discomfort, especially when your stomach lining is sensitive and irritated from gastritis. But the problems with carbonated beverages go far beyond just the physical pressure they create. Regular sodas are loaded with sugar and artificial ingredients that can feed harmful bacteria in your digestive system and worsen inflammation. The high sugar content also causes rapid spikes in blood glucose, which can interfere with your body's natural healing processes and make it harder for your stomach lining to repair itself. Diet sodas might seem like a better option since they do not contain sugar, but they come with their own set of problems. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin can actually be more irritating to the stomach lining than regular sugar. These chemical compounds can trigger inflammation, and some people with gastritis report that artificial sweeteners cause them more pain than regular sugar. The phosphoric acid found in many dark, colored sodas is another major concern. This acid is used to give sodas their tangy flavor, but it significantly increases the acidity level in your stomach when you already have gastritis, and your stomach is producing excess acid. The last thing you need is to add more acid from your beverages. The phosphoric acid can literally burn your sensitive stomach tissue and prevent healing from taking place. Energy drinks are particularly dangerous because they combine carbonation with high levels of caffeine artificial ingredients and often large amounts of sugar or artificial sweeteners. This combination creates a perfect storm of stomach irritation that can trigger severe gastritis flares that last for days. Even sparkling water, which many people consider a healthy alternative, can be problematic because the carbonation alone is enough to cause discomfort and pain when your stomach lining is inflamed. The key thing to understand is that when you have gastritis, your stomach needs to be as calm and settled as possible, and carbonated beverages do the exact opposite. They create turbulence agitation, and additional stress on tissue that is already struggling to heal. The eighth and final food that you must eliminate from your diet might surprise you because it is often considered healthy, and that is raw vegetables, particularly cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels, sprouts, and raw leafy green. Now, before you think, I am telling you to avoid vegetables entirely. Let me be clear. Vegetables are incredibly important for your overall health and healing. But when you have gastritis, the way you prepare and consume vegetables makes all the difference in the world. Raw vegetables are extremely difficult to digest, especially when your digestive system is already compromised by gastritis. Your stomach has to work much harder to break down the tough cellulose fibers in raw vegetable, and this extra work means increased acid production and longer digestion times, which can prolong irritation and discomfort. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cabbage contain natural compounds called glucosinolates, which, while beneficial for healthy people, can actually increase stomach acid production and cause gas and bloating. When your stomach lining is inflamed, these compounds can trigger pain and worsen gastritis symptoms, even though these same compounds might be protective and healing once your gastritis has resolved. Raw leafy greens like spinach, kale, and arugula can also be problematic because they are high in fiber and can be tough to digest when your stomach is inflamed. The rough texture of these vegetables can actually cause physical irritation to your sensitive stomach lining, much like sandpaper on raw skin. But here is the important part. I am not telling you to eliminate vegetables from your diet completely, because vegetables contain essential nutrients that your body needs to heal. What I am saying is that you need to modify how you prepare them when you have gastritis. Instead of eating them raw, you should steam, saute, or cook them thoroughly until they are soft and easy to digest. Cooking breaks down the tough fibers and makes the nutrients more bioavailable while reducing the physical irritation they can cause. Now, I want to pause here for a moment because I know this information might feel overwhelming, and you might be wondering what on earth you can actually eat if you have to avoid all these foods. And I want you to know that you are not alone in feeling this way. If you have ever felt frustrated, confused, or even scared about what foods are safe for your gastritis, I want you to take a moment right now and drop a comment below saying, "I need safe food options," and tell me what your biggest fear is when it comes to eating with gastritis. Your comment might be exactly what another viewer needs to read to know that they are not facing this alone and that there is hope for finding foods that nourish your body without causing pain. Because the truth is, while this list of foods to avoid might seem restrictive, it is actually the first step toward freedom from gastritis pain. Once you eliminate these trigger foods, your stomach will finally have the chance to rest and heal. And then you can start rebuilding your diet with foods that actually support your recovery rather than sabotage it. The beautiful thing about eliminating these 8 harmful foods from your diet is that you are not just removing triggers. You are actually creating space for your stomach to begin its natural healing process. And once that healing begins, you will start to notice changes that go far beyond just reduced pain. Your energy levels will improve, your sleep will get better, and most importantly, you will start to regain confidence in your relationship with food, which is something that gastritis steals from so many people. When you remove citrus fruits, coffee, alcohol, fried foods, processed meats, carbonated beverages, and improperly prepared vegetables from your daily routine, you are essentially removing the constant assault on your stomach lining and giving your body the chance to repair the damage that has been accumulating over time. Think of it this way. If you had a cut on your hand, you would not keep pouring salt on it every day and expect it to heal your stomach lining. Works the same way. It has an incredible ability to regenerate and heal itself, but only when you stop causing new damage every single day. The elimination of these trigger foods works. Synergistically meaning that avoiding one makes the others less harmful too. For example, when you stop drinking coffee, your stomach produces less acid, which means that if you accidentally consume something mildly irritating, it will not cause as much damage as it would have when your stomach was already overproducing acid from caffeine. Similarly, when you eliminate alcohol, your stomach can focus its energy on producing protective mucus instead of constantly trying to repair alcohol-induced damage. This creates a positive cycle where each healthy choice you make supports all the other healthy choices and accelerates your healing process. But I want to be completely honest with you about what to expect during this elimination process. The first few days might actually be challenging, especially if you are used to consuming caffeine regularly. You might experience withdrawal symptoms like headaches, fatigue, or irritability, and you might feel frustrated or even sad about giving up foods that you enjoy. This is completely normal, and it does not mean you are doing anything wrong. It means your body is adjusting to a new way of functioning, and within a week or two, these adjustment symptoms will pass, and you will start feeling better than you have in months or even years. The key to success with this elimination approach is to focus on what you can add to your diet, rather than dwelling on what you are removing. There are so many delicious healing foods that can become staples in your new gastritis-friendly lifestyle foods like bananas, which coat and soothe the stomach lining, oatmeal, which provides gentle fiber and helps absorb excess acid, lean proteins like chicken and fish that are easy to digest and do not trigger inflammation, steamed vegetables that provide essential nutrients without the harsh fiber of raw vegetables, herbal teas like chamomile and ginger that actively reduce inflammation and promote healing, and healthy fats like olive oil and avocado that support the healing process without being difficult to digest. As you begin to incorporate these healing foods, while avoiding the harmful ones, you will start to notice that your relationship with food begins to change. Instead of approaching every meal with anxiety and fear, you will start to feel confident and in control. You will begin to trust your body again, and food will become a source of nourishment and pleasure rather than pain and worry. This transformation does not happen overnight, but with consistency and patience, you will find that gastritis no longer controls your life. Instead, you control your gastritis through informed food choices and a deep understanding of what your body needs to thrive. I also want to emphasize the importance of working with healthcare professionals throughout this process. While dietary changes are incredibly powerful for managing gastritis, they work best when combined with appropriate medical care. If you are taking medications for gastritis, continue taking them as prescribed and keep your doctor informed about the dietary changes you are making. Some people find that as their symptoms improve through diet modification, they are able to reduce their reliance on medications, but this should always be done under medical supervision. The journey of healing from gastritis is not just about avoiding certain foods. It is about developing a new relationship with your body and learning to listen to what it needs. This process teaches you valuable skills that extend far. Beyond managing gastritis, you learn to be more mindful about what you put in your body. You develop a deeper appreciation for foods that make you feel good, and you gain confidence in your ability to take control of your health through your daily choices. Remember that every person with gastritis is unique, and while these 8 foods are commonly problematic, you might find that you have additional personal triggers or that some foods affect you more severely than others. Keep a food diary during your elimination process and pay attention to how your body responds to different foods. This will help you develop a personalized understanding of your gastritis and create a long-term eating plan that works specifically for you. The most important thing I want you to take away from this video is that gastritis does not have to be a life sentence of pain and dietary restriction. While it might feel overwhelming right now to think about eliminating these foods, remember that you are not just taking things away, you are giving yourself the gift of healing and the opportunity to feel better than you have in a very long time. Thousands of people have successfully managed their gastritis through dietary modifications, and there is no reason you cannot be one of them. If you found this video helpful, please remember to hit the like button. It really helps us bring you more valuable content to people who are struggling with digestive issues, just like you drop a comment below and let me know what your biggest gastritis challenge has been, and whether you are ready to try eliminating these 8 foods from your diet. Your story and your commitment to healing might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear to take their first step toward recovery. Of course, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest health tips and insights that can help you on your healing journey. We are here to support you every step of the way. And remember, you are not alone in this. Fight against gastritis together. We can help you reclaim your health and your confidence. One meal at a time, stay strong, stay informed, and we will see you in the next video.